Hello and welcome to the demo video for assignment 2 for group 9. The members in our group are Brandon Buck, Cody Dana, Somaraju Kaladindi, Habib Matar, and myself, Jad Nafal. We're going to give a little introduction of the code involved with assignment 2 and go a bit more in depth on the functionality that was implemented. So to start off, our code implemented in Java is used to create an Android application. The purpose of this Android application is to use a machine learning MATLAB model in order to make a classification between two different words, about and father. So I'm actually going to start with the MATLAB code. We use the classification learner feature of MATLAB in order to create a decision tree. The input to this decision tree was a compilation of all the data provided to us that includes different CSV files differentiating between the word about and the word father. We used a VBA script in order to parse out the columns that we did not need or to extract the features that we did need into one large CSV file that we passed in as training data to the model. The classification learner in MATLAB had many different options. We decided to go with a fine decision tree. The features for this decision tree were passed in as all features. However, we had chosen to do a fine tree with 6 splits. And so that ended up making feature selection on the features that MATLAB thought was most useful to train the model with highest accuracy. We ended up getting around 96% accuracy in MATLAB training, and we implemented the decision model in our Java code. So let me give a quick introduction of what is happening in our Java code. In our onCreate function, we create the different UI elements that are involved with our application. The UI looks something like this, where we have the video that will play after we select our file. And then we have the select file functionality where you can select the proper CSV file that will correspond to either about or father. The functionality is relatively straightforward. In our file selection activity, upon clicking the CSV file, we go ahead and parse the data in order for it to be inputted to the model for inference. We do this using different Java packages. We use a buffered reader to read in the Excel file and then parse the features based on the features that MATLAB extracted were the most useful for classification differentiation. The features are listed over here and then are used in the following decision tree in order to make a decision about whether a row of data should be classified as about or as father. Now we also implemented a confidence interval that is displayed to the user upon making a selection for inference. The way the confidence interval works is that it will take the total number of rows in the CSV that were considered about or considered father and then divide that by the total number of rows in the CSV in general. So we made the assumption that if a file name of a CSV has about underscore 0, that would mean that every single row in this CSV file corresponds to the word about. So if we had half the CSVs, half the rows in the CSV corresponding to about and half the CSVs corresponding to father, then we would be at a confidence interval of 50%. Now, in order to make a differentiation between how the model runs on Android versus how it ran on MATLAB, we created a detailed results, which I will dive into in just a second. Now, we also implemented a timer in order to measure the duration of inference on the MATLAB, on the Android simulator and on the Android phone. So this timer uses system.nano time, and we converted the elapsed time directly after inference to be in milliseconds. We use this data as comparison, as I mentioned earlier. Also, this data is displayed to the user when they are displayed the result of inference. So if we go into our result comparison, we will see that the different inference times that it took in order to make a classification for the following files. We chose 10 files because we thought that would make a good distinction on what the average time is for each interface. So we have the Android simulator in milliseconds, actual Android on a Google Pixel phone in milliseconds as well, and then how long MATLAB took to run in milliseconds. So we can see over here that all of them are relatively similar with the exception of the simulator, which takes us slightly longer to do so. If we dive into our MATLAB code that actually performs that gets us the results in time for each inference, it's fairly straightforward. We use tick and tock in order to do so. Also, we had converted the time from seconds to milliseconds. So in the simulator, like I told you guys earlier, once we do a select file, we're able to select an appropriate CSV file. So if we select the about 0, then it will perform the inference on all rows in this CSV file and then display the result to the user. However, please note that in the simulator, we are unable to play the video as there is a mismatch with the location of the videos on the simulator as there is on the device file explorer in Android Studio. So it will give me the prompt that it can't play this video. However, it will tell me the actual results of inference. So inference is completed in 11 milliseconds and the result is about with 100% confidence, which is correct for the CSV file that we had inputted, which was the top first one over here that has about. So in order to show you guys the functional application on an Android phone, we have included a demo of us running the application on a Google Pixel phone and making inference for one CSV file that has the word about and another CSV file that has the word father. For the video that plays, we use the about and father video that were included in assignment 1 in order to serve the purpose of helping a machine learning model recognize between about and father and display the appropriate American Sign Language word. We hope you enjoyed the demo and thank you for watching.